Hello folks, welcome back to another Bitopex video. Well, there's a lot to talk about, so I'm going to cover how much I made in this half part of the month. So I'm going to go overall across all my options that I've traded, not only Bitopex related, but overall the portfolio, how my portfolio is right now. We're finally profitable again on the Bitcoin option strategy and on the altcoin option strategy. So that is a relief if you have money in any of these vaults. We're finally profitable on those. We also are going to be looking at the charts to see how Bitcoin, Ethereum, Hyperliquid, Solana, how they are looking. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Most likely you already heard that it seems like there was a deal with Iran and the US, which some are saying that cost $300 billion from American taxpayers. But I'm not going to go into that because until I see a signed document by both parties, I'm not going to call that over, because we were told many times that an agreement was reached and it never was. So other than that, let's take a look at our current situation on Bitopex. And here we have our two strategies, our two copy strategies. And the Bitcoin one is a 0.02, so flat when it comes to returns on this vault. But the other one, the altcoin, is 0.4%. And it was just yesterday. So in the past 24 hours, it made 0.47% returns, which brought it back to the green. So an amazing return for both of them. I love seeing the green. I love seeing that they're profitable. Going back to Ethereum and going back to the trades that I've done this week, I'm gonna pull up the trade history right here so you can see. So these past 3 trades were the trades that I've done in the month of June. So we got $153, $17, and $136. So you see the returns of 3.6%, 1.1%, 4% returns. We haven't done a 4% return on Ethereum in such a long time. So seeing this is great, it's fantastic. So at least when it comes to Bitopex, the return that we have right here is around $300 more or less. That brings our capital to $13,487. If you remember, the top that this account has had was 23K, so we're 10K away. But if you remember, we got a couple of huge losses in October. So since October, I've been building my account back up, and now this is this year's all-time high. So when it comes to portfolio size, since October, November last year, this is the highest that the account has been. So hopefully we can get it back towards the 25K, just with options, just playing it safe. We're not speculating on sides, so we're not buying options, so we're not buying calls or buying puts. So we're just trading with our USDC, pretty much a stablecoin strategy. So since the beginning of the year, which was around $10,000 and 200, we're up somewhere around the 30% mark, which for a stablecoin strategy is fantastic. But if we go all the way back to November, December, when the account was around 9K, then we're up even more. We're up over $4,000 on this since the bottom that we had in November, December. Let me reiterate that we are doing this with stablecoins. It is not leverage, it is not perps, it is not meme coins. No, it's just stablecoins speculating on volatility, selling volatility with options. So that is my strategy, and it's having huge success. My personal strategy is even beating the copy trading, because the copy trading, the Bitcoin option strategy went from 117% to 125. So that's 8% that the 0DT has done year to date, so since January to now. Meanwhile, my strategy has done 30%. So we're doing huge returns. I'm very happy with it. Now, looking at our cryptocurrencies, if we start right here from the top, Bitcoin is at 62,712. Then we have Ethereum at 1691. We have BNB at 574. As I always say, BNB below 600 for me is always a buy. It's a DCA opportunity. So even though it hurts to see it this low, and is mostly due because the EU is going hard after all exchanges, and most of these exchanges are not going to get the license regarding crypto, so that will make it harder for crypto in Europe. And Binance being the biggest one globally, it will be hurt a lot if it doesn't get the license to operate in Europe. Then we have XRP at 112. XRP that if Bitcoin keeps going down, XRP will go below the $1, and that is scary to see. Then we have Solana at $68. We have Hyperliquid at $68 again, so 1 Solana equals 1 Hyperliquid. Then we have Zcash at 12 right here, and Zcash is at $451, followed a little bit down by Monero at 319. So Monero has been going down a lot. Let me show you a few trades that I've done. I've done this Hyperliquid trade right here, which was exciting yesterday night before I went to sleep, because right on a Monday, so the 15th, I opened this and Hyperliquid simply decided to just go away, go even further out of the money, making this spread right here from day one very profitable. So this spread was a 60 and 58, so 60-58 spread, and this one became profitable from day one. It stayed probably a couple of hours in the red because of the spread, but then it just took off, Hyperliquid took off, and this went deep out of the money, making my strategy very, very profitable. This was around 5 to 6% ROI, and this one right here was also a little bit that I took 2 days after. And this one was a little bit scary because I thought that we were gonna bounce and keep going up, but it actually we bounced and we kept going down. So by yesterday night, I was very, very scared that I was gonna lose some money on this because it was going towards my strike. But then it went below my strike for a little bit and it closed above it. So it closed above it just a few, it was a 66 spread, 66, 64. And this one actually closed at 5 a.m. at 67 bucks. So very, very close, just by $1, but that was enough for me to be profitable on this hype trade. On the Ethereum trade, I had this one that I opened in the beginning, which was the 1650. Had this on Bitopex as well, as you guys saw in the beginning. And this one was a good trade because even though Ethereum ripped up and then it started going back down, because when it ripped up, the volatility was so high, I sold at a very good point. What IV was so large that even though it was going down, I was still profitable throughout the whole thing on Bitopex. This was a very, very profitable trade as well. As you guys saw, over 130 bucks in profits that I got. Yeah, 136 that I collected from this trade. But now going back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the 1 hour and even in the 4 hours looks like it's gonna resist this price right here. So it's gonna use this as support, which was the 62,300. Personally, I still think that it just needs a little push to go down even further. So if you look at it, we are trying to go up. We didn't even make it halfway through what we lost from from the end of May. So we tried to go back up, but we didn't have enough strength, and now we keep going down. If we test this support right here and we keep going down, then it's gonna be scary because what's gonna hold us most likely is gonna be back at the 59K, and who knows, we can even go down further. I don't believe that we should be going down further, but it is looking at the charts. There's nothing that could stop us if there's enough selling pressure to bring it below the 59. Then we could go all the way to, the round number of 50K, which is psychological. I see already people calling 40K bottoms. I see people calling 30K bottoms. I personally don't see these numbers happen. This is way, way worst case scenario. So I am not that bearish on Bitcoin, but I believe that we just need a little nudge to bring it back towards the 59. Bitcoin is in a such unstable place right now that whatever pushes it over the edge is going to go down or it's going to go up very intensely. But just looking at the RSI right here, we can still go back towards the 59 like we had right here. So we just have to keep looking. When you look at the daily, you see that we went towards the 50 on the RSI, but we didn't have enough momentum. We just touched a moving average. And right now, it looks like we could be going, as I said, towards the 59. And if we lose that 58, 57, all the way towards the 50K, which is a very round number, very psychological number. But we have to keep an eye on the daily and on the week when it comes to what to expect, because they are the strongest one. Because for example, you see that we tried to stay above the 200 moving average right here. We went above for a little bit. We got stopped by the 100 moving average. And now it looks like we're going to be going down again. The Bollinger Band definitely has some margin for it to go down even more. And on the weekly, we are not oversold at all. So we can go towards the 25. And that would mean most likely $56,000, $54,000. As I've been mentioning, we just need that little push. Maybe Andrew Tate again going with a very large long, so everyone will be trying to liquidate him. I don't know, things like that are bringing Bitcoin down. We also have MicroStrategy with Stretch that is not in a good position right now. So that is a little bit bearish overall for Bitcoin when it comes to even Michael Saylor's having a hard time. That usually brings that FUD, that we see every now and then when it comes to Bitcoin. Everyone likes to hate on Bitcoin a little bit. I think this is everything that we have to cover regarding crypto. This month, we've done a little shy of $400 with options. As I said, all of them in stablecoins. So 300, 400 bucks in stablecoins. You would need to have, let's say you're providing liquidity with USDC, right? You're staking USDC, you're staking USDT to have that return. You're usually looking at 4, 5%. If you're going to Uniswap, for example, you're going to be looking at 9%. But imagine the amount of money that you need to have for you to make 400 bucks with stable coins on those places. And in the meantime, we're doing that very, very passively. Of course, you need to understand options, but that is something that is definitely doable. So 400 bucks, actually 394.83, that is the total amount that we made. And this is just 15 days in, actually 19 days in, but most likely we're going to be making maybe $200 or $250 more by the end of the month, which is, in my opinion, a very good return for a small account, for a few small accounts here and there in DeFi. As always, if you want to learn how to trade options, we have a free course on Bitopex, not charge you for anything. Just register with my link in the description. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you have an amazing weekend. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.